Namaste. This is the third episode of our podcast, Azima the Storyteller. Today, Azima will talk about the last commune in Pune, India, that came about after when the Oregon Range was destroyed. A lot of things happened, and Azima is a true witness because he lived there for the entire time till when the teacher passed away. So Azima, tell us all about this interesting subject that not many people talk about.
No, not many people talk about the last experience that we had with Osho, which goes from 1986, in August 1986 in Bombay, until he left the body in 19 January 1990. After the range, Osho was living for 8 months in an airplane, and more than 23 countries refused the visa. Some country, like in England, they even refused the aircraft to land in London. And the pilot say, listen, I have no fuel, so I had to land, otherwise we crash. So they say, okay, you land, but we're going to put Osho in jail in the airport for the overnight. So the organization of the CIA, FBI, whatever it was very, very strong. And for 8 months, he just lived in the airplane. Now there is a detail of these 8 months in one of a book of Manisha James, which was with Osho at that time in the airplane. There were just five people, 6 people with him. So if somebody wants to know about these 8 months, you can read this book of Manisha James. What happened is when Osho was very tired to leave an aircraft, you can imagine, he was so fragile, he was poisoned in America, so his body was very weak. So at the end he said, okay, let's go back to India. I'm Indian, so they cannot refuse the enter. So he landed in Bombay, today called Mumbai, in July 86. And in July 86, Azima was in Italy because I left the range for the new year, 85, between 85 and 86. So the first day of the 86, I left America and I came back in Italy. And I was convinced, like everybody, that the commune was over and the story with Osho was over. Everybody was convinced of that. So I came back in Italy. I opened a medical practice in Tuscany. And I started to be a doctor again. I was quite shocked to be in a normal society, be a doctor again after living in the commune. At that time, I came across, after a few months, Nilam, which will become the new Osho secretary. She came in Tuscany too, we became friends. And to make it short, in July, Osho called Nilam and told her to come in India. He stayed in one villa in Juhu Beach, which was the house of a disciple, which give the house to Osho so he can rest and he can start to give a discourse again. The story is it's in my book, My Life with Osho. You can know the detail. I want to more talk about the commune now. So for detail, you can read my book, My Life with Osho, by Diamond Book.
Yeah, so I'm very curious about this because it's not really, most people think it's just the Oregon commune, it's over, everything went over, but not many people know there was like a a decently big chapter right after. So
yes,
this is one that you're talking about.
for me was the most important chapter because I came very close to Osho. In Bombay, Osho gave it to Nandan, which at that time was my girlfriend, uh, to give a ticket because he was in a house and he started to give a discourse in a living room, so no more than 40, 50 people can sit there just in the floor. So he asked Nana to give a ticket to people that will start to coming from all over the world, slowly, to see him once a week or so. Okay, so I helped Nana to give the ticket, and he started to talk on the 16th, I think, of August. And I would like to read just one page of the book, the Upanishad, where Osho explained that from this moment there will be no commune anymore. So this last stage was not a commune anymore. The last commune was in the range. This last stage Osho described as a mystery school, and he said that it was a temple. So I want to read just few lines of this.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Because there's a lot of controversy right now about this subject. So this is really cool that you have the documents. I love this.
Yeah, this is the document. You can see it's the Osho Upanishad from 1686 to October 86. This is the first day. I was there sitting outside the window because the first night I could not get in. So I was outside in the garden, sitting on the window, just hiding. And from the other side of the window, there was Osho. So that's how it goes. My beloved ones. And usually when he starts with my beloved ones, he did a few times, everybody will start crying because he say with so much love. You are blessed to be here today because we are starting a new series of talks between the master and disciple. It is not only a birth of a new book, it is also a declaration of a new phase. Today, this moment, and it was very dramatic here, at 7 o'clock p.m., Saturday, 16th of August, 1986. One day this moment will be remembered as an historical moment. And you are blessed because you are participating. You are creating. Without you, it cannot be happen. Books can be written, can be dictated. But what I'm going to start is a totally different. What I'm going to start is Upanishad. It's one of the most beautiful words and it means in the presence of the master. The master has got it. This line is very important to understand for everybody. The master has got it. The disciple also has got it. But the master knows and the disciple is fast asleep. So the whole work of the mystery school is how to bring consciousness to the disciple, how to wake him up, how to allow him to be himself. Because, and this is very important in this moment, the whole world is trying to make him somebody else. So here we are back. And
It's just incredible.
yeah, you can see it was very strong. The whole world is trying to make you a puppet, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
So from that moment, he started talking every night, and I had the occasion to see him every second night. Okay.
Yeah, there's so much in there. Like it's pretty emotional, like just remembering.
Yeah, just there was the moment I came close to him, basically. Every second night I was 1 meter, 2 meter from his chair. And the people start to arrive more and more and more. And soon, in a couple of months, we were thousands of people in Bombay walking on the street waiting for the evening. So to make it short, in that moment, Osho asked Neelam and other Indian friends to find a commune in India. But it was very difficult. It was not easy to find a commune for a master like him because we need accommodation for thousands of people. We need a big Buddha hall. You know? So Neelam and other Indian friends could not find anything that was suitable for him. Then the police started to arrive some night to arrest him, to say that he was disturbing the city of Bombay. They start to make problem. And in the beginning of January 87, he decided to go back to Pune, which is about 220 kilometers from Bombay, up in the hill, which was the first commune, okay, where we stayed from 74 until 81. So Osho decided in the beginning of 87 to go back to the previous commune, which was closed the time of America. There were only a few Indians living there, but basically it was abandoned. So the 4th of January, he leaves Bombay and in the night, and he goes to Pune. I personally, Azima, left 2 days before, and I went with Nandan and a few other people, very few, to prepare his house. So Azima was a dishwasher, he was cook, he was just a carpenter, and now he finds himself in the house of the master, in Lao Tzu house, cleaning to prepare the house for him. The house for him was a big villa, very beautiful villa in the middle of green. And they asked me to work in the water fountain in front of his window, in front of the sleeping room. So, because he liked it very much. And I stayed with another German guy the whole night working in this fucking fountain to start again this engine, which was completely rusted. And we didn't manage, like we stayed 2-3 hours with the legs water trying to fix this pump.
Yes, you need to develop every type of skill and on the spot.
Yeah,
So
but
funny.
we didn't manage to be so good. So the fact that it starts after a few hours, I went inside and I started to help to clean the house and the corridor and so on. He arrived late in the night, around 3 o'clock, because Nina was calling from Bombay, saying, Osho is coming at 10 o'clock this evening. And then a few 10 minutes later, they say, no, he comes at 12 o'clock. No, he comes tomorrow. Every 10 minutes was a phone call, different phone call. So we were going crazy. when he's coming? So the day after, she told me that she was calling us, saying different timing because the police was listening the telephones. So anyway, he arrived on the 4th of January, 87. And then Nilan gives me a torch because it's in the middle of the night. She told me, follow the Mercedes. You are guarding the master. The car was going very slow, and I was behind the car with this torch until we arrived in Lao Tzu. And he was sleeping in the car. Actually, he was in the back of the car sleeping, and in front of the car there was Vivek, the girlfriend, and the driver. So we were about 10 people, maybe eight people that we were cleaning the house. And we were dancing, of course, around the car. So we went a little circle around the car dancing, beloved Bhagwan, we love you. Beloved, at that time was Bhagwan. And he was jumping like crazy, but he was sleeping. So then she came out of the car and she shook him and he woke up and he came out of the car, and it was a very strong experience for me because I was like 50 centimeters from him. And he didn't care at all that there were people screaming, "We love you." He just adjusted his long beard, adjusted the hair, he adjusted everything. He was like if we were not there. that's, that's a very, very strange, to be close to Osho. From that moment, I was living in his house for 5 months. It was very, very unique experience. And then after he adjusted his beard and he felt okay, then he started to give energy to us 8 people there. So then he went to sleep in his room. At that point, I asked my girlfriend, Nanda, I go to the hotel to look for a room for us. And she looked me with a strong German look, like Teutonic look. What are you doing? you don't understand? We are living in his house. I say, me? We are living in his house? He said, yes, go, let's go to the room. And so I find myself in living with Nanda, two rooms before Osho. It was a very, very strong experience. Osho started talking every day, but another strong experience was the morning after. He was still sleeping, it was about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. The police arrived in the ashram. And they want him out of the city of Pune. They had a legal paper that say that he was disturbing the Indian youth with his discourses, and he's not welcome.
He was sleeping.
Yeah, he was still sleeping, and he had to leave Pune. So from that moment, we in the Lao Tzu house we were maybe 6 men, and Nilan told us, lock yourself inside the house, don't allow anybody in. And we were there ready to die, but not to let the police inside. And I really was ready to do anything. And from the other side of the door, outside in the garden, Nilam and our lawyers were screaming with this police. And he went on for more than an hour. We were inside the Lao Tzu, protecting the house. And at a certain point, Nila knock and say, you guys can open. We reach an agreement. They come inside and they show this piece of paper from the court, and then they leave. So we opened the door. Even these two, I don't know, was a captain or colonel, I don't know what it was, two military. They enter inside Lao Tzu. Vivek opened the door and Osho was sleeping. So they wake him up, and Osho's so cool. It was so cool, this military gave the paper to him, and he took this paper, like this. He read the paper, very cool, and then he stripped the paper in pieces, and he threw to the police. He said, "I read it, and now you can go." That was Osho. He was a tiger. He was a lion.
He
Really.
didn't recycle the paper. He destroyed the paper.
Yes, he destroyed it and he threw it in the face of the police. So the story went on with legal lawyers and the court for months, and then finally we win the court. So Osho stayed. And from that moment, he started talking every day, and in the old Buddha hall. And he said very clear, because people were coming from all over the world, of course, but not many Americans. I had to say that not many Americans came back. Many Americans, they didn't come back to Pune 2, what we call Pune 2.
Makes sense. Showing you a little in pieces, but so I'm sorry if I'm not right in the right space.
Yeah, I think
but
I think many Americans.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah. Okay, many Americans they didn't come back. I think because many of them they were very much identified with the range, not with the Osho. So anyway, he say very clear, this is a temple. It's not a commune anymore. There will be no commune. And this is important for the people now, nowadays, that they are trying to make another commune in Pune. There's
Right, it says right there in the document, this is a mystery school. So, I mean, the mystery school, also in the Western tradition, I'm big in the Western tradition of Rosicrucians and many other ancient tradition. It's a totally different story. It's not a commune. So
yeah. So and after some time, he asked Nilam to reduce the amount of workers, because there were coming more and more people, more and more disciples, and they were working in different departments, and we were getting big again, And Osho say, no, no, no. So Nilam had to tell people to go out of the department, and each department was run by just few people. Like he put me at that time in charge of the medical center. So after being cook, I was a doctor again. And I was not only a doctor, I was in charge of the medical center. So like in the medical center, we were only me and another doctor, and the other nurses and other doctor, they were helping us spontaneous, but they were not part of the resident. So for Osho, it was very clear that this last stage was his final, let's say, teaching to the world, because he showed in this last stage the mystery school, and he created an academy which was very, very profound. I want to read some of, this is my book. It's an essay of Osho's life and Osho's teaching. It's in Italian. He created an academy with 7 departments. The first department was about therapy. So there were all kinds of therapy, breathing, pulsation, encounter, massage, psychic reading, and so on. The second department was the School of Mystic School. So there were we were experiencing Reiki, kinesiology, tarot reading, past life sessions, astrology, cranotherapy. I mean, there was very, very an incredible academy. The third department was the creative arts, and creative arts included theater, music, painting, sculpture, calligraphy, Japanese calligraphy. I mean, it was really an explosion of creativity, really. It's like a volcano of creativity. The fourth department was where Osho sent me after the medical center, because at a certain point, after about 5 months, Osho asked the people who were living in Lao Tzu, which we were mostly couples. We were, let's say, about 6 couples, more or less. And he asked, he wants questions for discourse from us, from these 12 people. So because we were a couple, more or less, we talk about love and relationship and blah, 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 you know. And he started to split all the couples. And the first couple that split was Azima and Nandan. So when they finished the discourse, I came back in my room in Lao Tzu, and my dress was not there anymore, my stuff. During the discourse, they knew that the Osho is going to split us, so they put me out of Lao Tzu, and they gave me one room in another building called Krishna House. So when the discourse was over, I come back and my suitcases was not there, my robe were not there, and my story with Nanda was finished because Osho split us. And he told Nandan to just go and enjoy with other men. So for me, it was quite a shock because I was in love with this woman. And after he split all the other couple from Lao Tzu, and from that moment, he started to create a woman liberation group. Was a specific department which worked for the liberation of women conditions. Okay, and then after some time, he created the main liberation group. So he started to work with us inside the Lao Tzu to split the couple, and Azima was one of the first. And there was the time when he started to hit me. I remember one beautiful question I wrote, beloved master, how can we grow in the meditation and in love with our girlfriends, with our beloved? You know? And I was yet to think I was sitting at his feet in discourse because I was living in Lao Tzu. So I was like 1.5 meters from his chair. And he goes with the finger like this, pointed to me, you know, like, you, Azima. He say, first, you don't know anything about love, and you don't know anything about meditation. So your question is completely out of tune. And from that moment, he answered few questions of Azima, and each answer was really strong hit on my ego. It took me more than 1 year to recover from this different heat that he was giving in front of everybody, in front of thousands of people. And now you can read in the book.
I can just imagine, and how brokenhearted you must have been, because you know it was like an imposition of a breakup with a woman you love, and wow, I'm in shock. I didn't know about all this. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, that was the first hit. Then he went on. You know, my ego, he worked on me very strong. Because I was in charge of the medical center, as I say, you know. But when he put me out on Lao Tzu, after some time, I don't remember the time, 2 months or 3 months, he sent a message to me that I was no more in charge of the medical center, Another doctor, an American guy called Indivar, would be in charge, and I had to be just one of the doctors there, and I had to surrender to Indivar.
Well, if I can comment, I was just going to say, okay, finally you're out of the kitchen. You can be the doctor. I mean, you can work as the doctor that you are. You studied so many years. So you can be a doctor, but then you cannot have a girlfriend because, you know, that all the, okay. And then he takes you back again from the doctor position. I mean, not so important. That's so, it was really working you really, really hard. I mean, I don't know how you survived. I would have died.
Yeah, that many people say how you survive. My girlfriend did to say, how do you survive to all this heat? And the answer is very, very easy. I love him. I trust him totally. Whatever he was doing, I trust him. I knew he was working on me. I could not understand because I was so, he was hitting me from all sides. But anyway, so I became a normal doctor in the medical center. And I was quite depressed, So I was confused why he's eating me so much. Obviously, my ego was very big.
Yeah, and if I can interrupt again, it's something that you cannot solve with your mind. The more you ask, why is he doing this to me? You cannot really answer with your mind. So it must be so crazy.
And after a while, Jayesh called me. Jayesh is the person who is still in charge of the Osho Foundation. He became the boss of the foundation. He called me and he said, we bought a new property in front of the ashram, a new villa, which we call number 4, was another big English style villa. Corrigan Park was many English style villa with beautiful garden and beautiful huge tree and parrots and birds. It was a very nice place. So he said, we bought this new property, and in this new property, we're gonna have a new academy, the Academy for Healing Arts, and you're gonna be in charge of this academy. So it was going like a Russian mountain, up and down, up and down, up and down. And he say, you can spend all the money you want to make all your bioresonance machines. You are free to spend anything. You build a very nice healing center there. So at this point, I'm not part of the medical center anymore. I have what I've always dreamed. I always dreamed to be a different doctor. I was doing homeopathy, acupuncture, chromotherapy with colors, and I did all my dreams I realized in the healing arts. And that was a very incredible time for me, these 2 years, where I experiment with many other friends, all kind of healing.
But no, good things happen to those who survive. Oh, you're not hearing me anymore. No, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because we have so many problems with these computers. So I just said good things happen to those who wait. Good things happen to those who like being so hammered by Osho like you.
Yeah, it was not easy, but it was a blessing. And the last commune was really the manifestation of the immense creativity that Osho had. This huge multiversity, nobody ever talks about. I want to finish the fourth. So the Academy of Healing Arts, which was my academy, and then the fifth department was a gymnasium with sauna, swimming pool, massage, and body treatment was another property. Then the sixth department was martial arts, all kind of martial arts. And the last department was what I told you before, the Women Liberation Group, and the Men Liberation Department. Almost everybody in the commune went through these two, Men Liberation and Women Liberation. Not me, because I got quite famous. I got quite famous with my hearing department and all this bioresonance machine, that I was overbooked. I was working 12 hours a day with people coming from the commune, and also people coming from outside the commune, normal Indians and journalists, Indian journalists. Nilam was sending very famous people to me because I create this. My room was a big room full of crystals, colors ray, machine, electromagnetic frequency reader, many shelves full of homeopathic medicine. I was creating medicine with the electromagnetic frequency. I mean, I did all kind of extraterrestrial experiment.
I
So
can just imagine. Yeah.
yeah, so Nila was sending famous people, a singer, Hari Prasad Chaurasia came to me and I treat him 2-3 times. Many pandit, many journalists, and they did a couple of articles in the Indian newspaper about Dr. Azima with all these machines. So I was a kind of a good thing for the ashram. This,
I see you like the Einstein, like the scientist of homeopathy with all these devices and all this crazy stuff.
yeah.
It's so cool. So just one last thing, maybe. So this you call it bioresonance machine, or am I correct?
So somebody called more a machine, but
Machines. Can you tell just briefly, quickly, what does it do? I'm curious. What how does it work? How does it do? What's the goal? What's
yeah, it's a diagnostic machine and therapeutic machine. It was invented by Dr. Morel, a German doctor, and the engineer Rasch, both Germans, Mora. And you have electrodes that read your frequency in different parts of the body. You can put these electrodes. And inside there are a series of filters. You see, if the body is harmonic, the frequency that we register is a very harmonious frequency, okay, like this. If the body is sick, the frequency goes quite altered. So there are filters that separate the frequency, pathological frequency than biological frequency. And then you can adjust this frequency. Like the pathological, you make it smaller, or the biological frequency, you make it higher, and you give back to the person. So it's a kind of biofeedback. You don't introduce anything, you just adjust the frequency of the person. But you can also do medicine, because you can put an homeopathic medicine inside, you amplify the frequency, and you put the frequency in a solution with the water and alcohol. So I was doing medicine with crystals. I was taking 2-3 different crystals that work on the intestine, in the problem for stomach, like a smoky quartz or citrine, yellow crystals. And I was with the belt, electromagnetic belt, I was putting this frequency inside the machine, and I was amplifying the machine and put in a drop water, and I give it to people intestinal problem. And it was very efficient. So nowadays the bioresonance is very much used in the
I
hospital.
now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
sorry, go ahead.
Germany, in England, in America they use, but mostly in Europe they use.
I need to see if there's someone in San Diego, but I don't know. I need to see. I want. Very cool. So yeah, so I guess we can just
I
for
think,
tonight.
yeah,
Yeah.
for tonight we because there are more to say, and then we can.
Yeah. So we keep it for next time.
Yeah, we can split into two sessions.
Yes, because this is such a broad subject, and it just became so interesting. Just this, oh, I just want to know all about it. Because the second part is gonna be the very big one next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, there was a lot of internet problems for me. So if I came in, that was not the right time. I apologize with our listeners.
That's okay. Okay.
So have a beautiful, beautiful night. I mean, day there. No, there's night here. It's day. You're in Sicily. I'm in San Diego, California. So, and we'll see you soon. Namaste. Thank you for everything. Ciao. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.